All right, so now I'm going to show you how to write the equation from a graph. Now, in my class, when we're doing, if I give you a graph, I'm not going to have any multipliers on there because it becomes significantly harder. We're only going to deal with translations left and right, or left and right, and translations up and down. All right, so I have a parabola here, and I'm going to ask for the equation of this parabola. Well, what I really need to know is the vertex. So my vertex originally starts right about here. The original one is 0, 0, which is right here. I know it's a little hard to see, that's why I wrote it in. And then I have another vertex, which is right here of my actual parabola, which this is actually at 2, 1. So I'm at 2, 1. All right. So really from here, I just need to think, okay, how did I go from 0 to 2? Well, I went right 2 units. So if I use my generic notation, I know my f of x is going to be x squared. So now to find g of x, there's not going to be an a when I give you a graph, but we're going to have, well, actually I take that back. The only a I'll give you is negative. We'll deal with that in a second. So I've got my f. Well, to go right 2, I've got x minus 2, because remember, it's always comes with the minus because of my generic notation. And then I went up 1, so plus 1. Now, my a, the only time I will give you an a is if it's a positive or a negative. In this case, because my parabola is going down, it is actually going to be a negative because it's a reflection over the x-axis. And here is my equation. Now, if I wanted it from generic notation to written in like a regular equation that you're used to seeing, you would just simply say g of x equals a negative x minus 2 squared plus 1. And then from there, we don't need to do the table because we already have the graph, so we don't need to mess with that. But then we can do our written description, and we can say, given the parent function f of x equals x squared, g of x can be created by the following transformations. Whatever, I ran out of room. Colon. All right, and then we just described what happened. There was a reflection over the x-axis, let's go here, horizontal translation. We went right 2 units, and Oxford comma. We had a vertical translation up 1 unit. Period. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So by the time you've done everything, you should be able to go from a graph to an equation to the written description. You should be able to go from an equation to a graph and a written description. You should be able to go from a written description to an equation to the graph. So all 3 of these, I'm going to test on all 3 of these being able to go the different routes. Hi, I'm Mr. Buzzard, and these videos are supplemental instruction for my students. If you found the video enjoyable, make sure you click the like button and click subscribe, as well as the bell for notifications to receive future videos on high school mathematics.